Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of It's Easy Like Anime. Talking about One Punch Man Season 2, Episode 7, The S-Class Heroes. I'm your host and moderator, Michael Damiani, joined by Ben Moore.
What's up?
And special guest, Brad Ellis.
What's up?
Brad, real
Feels
quick.
right.
Where are you at in One Punch Man? So our audience knows.
I've seen Season 1, and we just watched Episode 7,
Yeah.
and that's it.
So great place to jump
So,
in.
yeah,
Perfect
zero
spot.
context.
Yeah, they obviously accounted for people jumping in at this point, made it very clear what's going on. This episode, wow.
Yeah, what a weird episode to jump in, Brad.
Wow.
Because this was a blisteringly paced episode.
Yeah, this was ramped up to 11. It never slowed down. Ever. Is this what the rest of the series is like?
It had a downer part, but like the last few episodes, it's been ramping up
Good
this
Lord.
direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so do you feel actually pretty lost, or do you feel like...
There was literally 100 characters in this episode, and I had recognized Saitama and like a couple other ones, and that was about it.
Yeah, and there were new characters introduced. We got Flashy Flash.
Dude, Flashy Flash.
I laughed at that name.
Big fan.
In a good way.
Big fan of Flashy Flash.
I feel like I might have heard that name before, but it being accompanied with actually seeing the characters, like, I was like, oh my gosh, this can't be real.
Who was the dog kid? The watchdog? Was that one of
Watchdog,
Yeah,
Watchdog Man.
that guy's a 10.
Yeah.
Watchdog Man.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for Watchdog Man to have their moment.
They have already, I think.
So we have the tournament arc going here.
Right.
And it actually reaches its conclusion in this episode. I guess I'm kind of curious about your thoughts about the final fight. Because even though we kind of suspected Saitama's going to win easily, the kind of like the tension and the exchange they had, how did you feel about the execution of that final championship match?
Are you asking me specifically?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that character just reminded me of an SNK character the entire time. That's all I was thinking about.
Pretty good.
I haven't watched One Punch Man in a long time, but it is exactly what I remember of him just being goofy, taking hits, no big deal, then just one punching a dude at the end. I don't even think he even touched the guy, actually. He just did like the punch, and it was like the shockwave that killed him or knocked him out. I was down. I loved him trying to hold on to his wig the whole time. Apparently he was having a disguise. I was confused when he was wearing a wig, but that sounds like Saitama to me.
You don't know why...
Yeah, I have no idea why he's like hiding his identity or anything. But it was that show is ramped up. I was telling them it was like drinking 3 Red Bulls at once and just watching this show.
Yeah, that was great.
Out of control.
Yeah, he's participating in the tournament. He has to go on with the disguise because he missed the registration time.
Oh, okay.
And if you try and enter after that, you're not allowed to, essentially. But his motivation was true. He wanted to like see people. He wanted to experience martial arts, and he came to the conclusion: martial arts are good for
Like flashy moves. That was was that what he said, or was it just cool looking moves?
Martial arts are good for looking cool.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, I like that.
Oh yeah, and that hip bump.
Yeah, I like that he got DQ'd too because his wig came off. That's great.
I was like, it has to end that way. He's gonna beat up the person, but he's going to lose. And then they kept fighting though, because Suryu was like,
he's like, want a real fight.
Yeah, like let me unleash my real power and stuff, and it's just like never seen
him, dude.
First time in my life I'm losing.
Yeah, that like sad music playing. He's just like, I've lost. What do I do with my life now? Yeah, I felt it was a pretty satisfying conclusion.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, Ben. Besides the tournament arc coming to its conclusion, what did you think about the scene with the Order of the Holy Sword? We got to see Atomic Blade, who's one of the S-Class heroes, recruiting other skilled swordsmen to hunt down Garo, essentially.
That might have been my favorite moment of the episode, or it's hard. There were a lot of moments in this episode that I liked, but it was just so blatantly goofy and so perfect. It felt like an older anime for a second, where it was like, hey, I'm a monster, you have this and be a monster too, you will die in 3 seconds. It had kind of like, it was like almost paying an old homage to like some sort of like monster movie or something, and it just happened very quick, and it felt very self-aware of what it was, and it was just really fun and quirky and entertaining. I thought it was great. And I guess to elaborate on that, the S-Class heroes, sometimes I feel like they kind of keep them close to their chest, or they build them up, or they just kind of hint at him. So it was nice having an episode where we kind of get to see them flex a little bit. We get to see a bunch of them do one thing or another, and not just S-Class heroes, but other heroes as well. And so that was really nice.
What was the Freako pig guy? What was he? Was he S?
Yes. What was his name?
Pig God or
like
something.
Pig God?
Yes.
And the dev shirt or whatever.
Yes.
Good
That
lord.
was amazing.
Eating.
Pig
Pig
God.
Pig God, dude. Don't mess with Pig God.
That was
disturbing.
Yeah, it was kind of cool because you got to see, I forgot the kid, the rank 5 hero, something King. I forget their name. I'm sorry. Chat, you can let us know.
Isn't it like
Child
Genius?
King or
Child?
What
Child
is it, chat?
Genius?
But they were like remote control.
Child Emperor.
Thank you.
Thank you. So bad with names.
Yeah, it was like cool to see them. Like for a moment, I was like, "Oh, did they screw up? Were they actually not that like clever?" And like, no, like I'm. My plan was to buy time to figure out your toxin, like an antitoxin. Like, oh, cool. And then like, if only my backpack was just a little bit closer.
Yeah,
and then,
that was super anime talking about that.
Oh yeah, you put it so well, Ben, earlier. Like you're like, this is the most anime.
Right.
Yeah.
It just felt like that through
and
and
what's
through.
crazy, and like my biggest takeaway from this episode is there were so many moments where I'm like, the animation is garbage. Like it is so blatantly awful. Where like Suryu is a great example. I feel like Suryu's proportions changed like so many times, and not in a clearly intentional way, but like there would just be different shots of him that looked awful, or there would be faces that like weren't even that far out that just looked miserably bad. But considering how often we were cutting to different scenes and how goofy it was, and just how the pace of everything, how fast it was moving, it almost like kind of added something. Like the poor animation and how goofy it was being and how fast it was moving, it just felt like this insane roller coaster that was on fire, that was like enjoyable in spite of itself, kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, who's the Contra boss? That was like the big bad guy.
Introduced to them
Orochi.
last
Orochi,
episode,
dude.
I believe.
Okay.
They seem like they're the head honcho of the
okay.
Monster Association.
Okay.
Which over the course of the season, they've been slowly introduced. We saw like that they just kind of like sprung out of nowhere, started attacking the cities, and now we're finding out their hierarchy and what their motivations are. Yeah, like that was one of the things, because obviously at the end, after dealing with one of them betraying them, the rest of the Atomic Samurai and the rest of the Order of the Holy Sword, like, we have a new mission. We're not going to go try and fight Garo and kill him. We're going after the Monster Association now. And it seems like things are starting to get more, pieces are moving into place for like the showdown, because it's been building up, Brad,
for the
that
scene.
like the A rank heroes, you got a taste of it. They're not cut out for this. When like Flashy Flash showed up, and then Tornado showed up after that, being even more powerful, it's clear that we're going to have like the most powerful people clashing at some point coming up. I don't know if you got like that vibe.
What rank is Atomic Samurai? That guy's the best. Okay.
Their rank S-Class rank like in the top 10, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
that guy is straight out of Samurai
3,
Showdown.
Yeah. That's
love
right.
it.
3 is pretty high.
Cool.
I'm kind of curious about something. There's something I kind of want to see happen at some point now. I don't know if the thoughts crossed either of your minds. With how powerful Tornado is, just like using their telepathic powers to obliterate anything they come across.
Yeah,
and
Tornado
Saitama.
Tornado was like kind of frustrating for me this episode, because I really like Tatsumaki or Terrible Tornado as a character, but like I feel like every scene with Tornado is kind of playing out in a nearly identical way. And this is carrying
that's
over.
a good point.
This is carrying over from season 1.
Yeah.
And like just every time we see her, she resolves the situation in a nearly identical way, and that can be effective and has been effective. But like I'm just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop and for her to have a more substantial scene that isn't her just like coming in, being smarmy, quickly cleaning up a mess, and then moving on, and then we move on to other characters. because I like her and I think she's a very likable character. But yeah, it's just getting a little stale.
They need to get to the point of this.
Yeah.
And it's hurting. If they don't get to it soon, I think her character arc's going to suffer for it. She's not developing. We're just showing the same thing over and over again. I feel like I'm forgetting something that happened this episode because so much stuff happened. I'm trying to think towards the beginning. There was crap. So we had the tournament. We had the scene with some of the monsters.
Something I think that is important to bring up is he was saying like it doesn't matter if these monsters keep getting defeated. We just make more of them.
Yeah, that's not a concern.
Right.
So that's probably something they'll have to deal with because while there are powerful S-class heroes, their ranks are depleting.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're losing A ranks and below at a pretty fast rate, and so if they can produce monsters that are that strong and keep producing them, it's like are they going to be outclassed? Obviously,
yeah.
We didn't see anything more of Garo except him approaching Watchdog Man again. Like. I'm trying to remember, like, the last 2 episodes, he's kind of been in the background a bit.
Yeah. Which I think is okay. I think they've kind of, the narrative position that he's in, where the next time we see him, it's probably going to be big. Like, he's going to either have some huge consequential confrontation, or we're going to learn his motivations. Like, I feel like he's on the precipice of something big, and so if you're not ready to reveal that yet, I don't think he needs to be in the episode. Like, I felt like enough was going on here with the other characters, and I'm glad that they resolved the tournament in this episode, that they didn't keep...
How many episodes has it been?
We're 7 episodes... Oh, how many episodes is the tournament arc going on? They teased it, I believe, in episode 2, but didn't start till
3.
Maybe 3.
So, like, 4 episodes? Okay.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
It kind of, like, we saw, like, the last 2 episodes have seen the most advancement, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of it was just the build-up, and then they got
But you also have to keep in mind that the difference between this and, like, other tournament arcs is that Saitama's just going to end it in one part.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of waiting for that finals. But,
yeah. Brad, is there anything else stick out to you about this episode that, especially jumping in like the...
Just 100 miles an hour. That's immediately what pops in my brain.
Yeah.
So many characters in this show. Like, hopping in, good luck. Study up if you're hopping into this show.
Brett, I have to ask, like, now that since you've seen season 1 and you're jumping into episode 7 of season 2, did this experience, like, make you curious? Or you're like, okay, that was fun, but I'm good?
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Whatever, dude. Low stakes for me. I had fun watching it, though.
Brad, I felt a few episodes ago is when I think I expressed that I felt they're laying a lot on us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just, like, so many things are coming up, new characters are coming up, and it's, like, just kind of the pacing. Yeah.
I just hopped in, like, a really deep area of this show where everything's established already pretty much, and, like, you're supposed to know who a lot of these people are, which is fine, but I respect that. And I was like, oh, yeah, I kind of want to know what's going to happen. Because I haven't seen season 1 since it aired, and I feel like that was a long time ago.
It was like 2015.
It definitely helped rewatching before this, because there was a lot that I had forgotten, too.
Definitely helps. What did Metal Drive Knight do again? That's what I'm forgetting. Like, he like, wrecked a bunch of low-level monsters.
Yeah.
I feel like there was something at the beginning I'm missing, because it was Orochi talking to the eye thing at the beginning, right? I had to, like, do some adjusting, so I feel like I missed some dialogue at the beginning, so I don't know if it was anything.
Turn into a centaur.
I'm glad you brought him up, because when he showed up on screen, it was and this has happened several times this season, and it happened specifically during that scene where it took me out of the moment, because I was like, man, this looks really bad, and like that's what I was thinking about instead of whatever the characters were doing. And I think maybe there are a lot of examples that I could point to, but I think maybe the worst was Suryu was pointing, and like that's not an index finger. Like whatever he had
I remember you bringing that up.
It really bugged you.
It was like what? That's not how that's supposed to look, and it really threw me off. But again, like you said, 100 miles an hour, it almost added to it in a way where it made it feel even more insane.
Like, I didn't even have time to really question anything.
Yeah.
To, like, really try to nitpick anything, because I was trying to figure out what's going on.
You were
just
going
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I feel like I missed something. So much, like, flew by so quickly, I couldn't process it all. And now I feel like I need to rewatch this episode. This is the first episode I feel like I need to rewatch, actually.
I think this episode, like, I had This was the most fun episode. This and episode 1, I think, were
I don't think I laughed as much out loud as I did in the entirety of this episode since episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. It was really good. Yeah, like, I'm trying to remember, like, plot points from the other episodes, because it's like, yeah, like, were there, like, yeah, what happened to, like, the kid and the dad and the kid, the Hero Association member who was funding them, got kidnapped by the monsters, like, didn't see that. I feel like there's so much stuff. The next episode they might go back to and be like, "Oh my god!" Like, I feel like they're doing this on purpose, and I hope it's calculated that each episode they're gonna like drop stuff on you, and like, I feel like it's to be like this immediate gratification thing they're gonna be going for the last 5 episodes of this, and yeah, I feel right now it's a good feeling. I like feeling. It makes me feel a little bit more optimistic and good about what I watch right now.
Definitely. I'm really curious what Sirius' role is going to be from here, and what part he's going to play in the story.
My bet, Ben, is we don't see him come back till season 3. I bet he goes away. I mean, we might see him, but like I don't think he'll play a major role till season 3.
We definitely had that effect in season 1, right? Yeah. Where they kind of shelved people until we saw them until later, or didn't reveal them as much as they have in season 2. Yeah.
That'd be my best guess. With 5 episodes left, I feel like they're gonna move on to other stuff, and yeah, we'll come back to it. I mean, we also didn't talk about the post credit tease. We picked back up with Genos being obliterated by Goketsu or something. I forget their name. The freaking 4-eyed, like super buff, like Dragon Ball looking thing.
Cool.
They just wrecked him, and it's now marching towards the tournament, I guess, or maybe a showdown with Saitama or something. And maybe we'll start seeing the more powerful monsters and them inevitably getting obliterated by Saitama.
Punched.
Like, will they actually cause any trouble whatsoever? Yeah. Goketsu's a unit.
Red Sky made me chuckle. I was like, what's going to happen to Sirius? And they're like, well, maybe he'll get a role in the Sonic movie. That just, for some reason, that hit me, man.
There is one thing that I now remember about the episode. My Mask. We actually got to see them in this episode. The monsters crashed his concert, and he got pissed off at them. It's like, hey, do you remember I exist? I'm here.
Yeah.
It was you from Persona 4, pretty much. I was like, oh, it's you.
Yeah.
Persona 4 showed up. Cameo.
My Mask is another one of those characters, like Tornado, where I feel like we've been waiting for them to lean in a little bit harder, but this episode I think is saying that's coming.
It's coming
quickly.
Oh yeah, I mean I hope so.
Yeah,
it needs to get somewhere. We got some patron submission. Just some questions submitted. This is not a patron exclusive show, but on our Patreon we called for some questions for this episode. And I think we're going to answer 1 or 2 of them. I think we got one we're probably going to answer, because I think the other one we're going to pick we kind of addressed already, like how we felt about like the tournament arc and its resolution. Sorry. Oh yeah, our question is going to come from Stan. I apologize, I got lost in there. So this question from Stan. Hey, the biggest thing that's bothering me from this season is not the bad animations, but the pacing of each episode. In the first season, there's a lot of downtime and transition shots in each episode. Establishing shots, showing locations between scenes, e.g. Saitama's apartment. Appropriate music slowly kicks in before any dialogue, and slice-of-life scenes of different characters. For example, Saitama reading manga in his apartment, Genos cooking, Saitama grocery shopping, pedestrians doing things before monsters appear. None of those are present in this season. There's literally no break between each scene, indicating a different location with different characters. Everything feels rushed. What do you feel about this?
They're not wrong. I think it's a really good point. I think on some level, just the beginning of the story lends itself more naturally to being slowly paced, so I think on some level you have to acknowledge that. But yeah, you're right. I think just the ways that they showed you a location in season 1, or how things were paced, it was better, for lack of a better word. And it's gotten to a point, and this episode I think really highlights it. Like this, I've almost accepted it as just a completely different show. And the reasons I'm enjoying it are different, despite it being the same characters, despite the humor going for the same thing. The way that I'm appreciating it is different than I did with One Punch Man Season 1. I think that's a hard thing to reconcile, but it's allowed me, I think, to get into Season 2 more.
Yeah, I kind of like your point about it feels like a different show, because I'm choosing to believe this is all very calculated and done intentionally, because it is this season feels like a different style than the first season. I won't lie when I say that I do like this point being brought up. It did make me think about Season 1, and yeah, they do take their time to establish things. They do take their time to set up new shots and let things kind of transition at a good pace. But I feel like that was because we're just getting acclimated to the world of One Punch Man. It sounds a little contradictory because they're introducing so many new concepts, like heroes, the in-depths of the Hero Association, the Monster Association, all these other characters being dropped in. It's like, I think the point is there's just too many. It wouldn't matter if they took their time for them. There's so many. You'd be bogged down and so slow. The pacing would be so slow.
Yeah.
It would just drag on. And I think the strength of this season is just let's keep it snappy. Though I do think they might have taken it a little too far. I think there are a few moments they probably could have slowed down just a little bit and indulged in a scene. They still do it at some points. Like obviously when like Pig God just shows up, breaks through the wall, and just like I'm gonna eat this thing. And it's like the joke's like, are you really eating it? Still slurping. It reveled in that joke for a bit. So
it was like Saitama in the bathroom.
Yeah.
The other guy talking to him.
Yeah, it's just kind of interesting to think, like, I wonder how that would have been handled in Season 1. So, like, the Monster King, the way that they show him here, like, he's giant, right? And he's huge. But the way that he's framed, it's just very static. And it just looks so simple that he doesn't really have any imposing presence to me. And I feel like in Season 1, the way that they would present a character like that visually would just be so much more effective. I don't know. I don't think it would be as static. I think they would do things or frame it in a certain way that it would be a lot more interesting than what we're seeing.
Yeah, I guess maybe if they held on more important characters a little bit longer in this season, because there is you're trying to like cut through the clutter here and figure out what is the real. Like, you don't need to focus on all these different A-level heroes. Like, unless you're, like, super obsessed with the series and want to know everyone's name and want all the information, it's just kind of like dressing on everything. You don't need to really focus on it. So, yeah, by framing things a little bit more like in Season 1 for the more important villains, more important new heroes, and giving them that treatment, I think it would pay off. And I think it's too early to tell if they're doing that well enough. Like, I want to believe that Atomic Samurai, he had a decent role in the first season at the end. Is he going to play a major role in this season beyond this episode? Like, they took time.
I think that's a constant question with the season is like,
yeah.
Are they going to play a major role?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Like, it needs to lead somewhere. They can't keep doing this. This trick's going to get old. Yeah. Like, rushing through things really fast just because, it's really cool to see all this stuff. It's gratifying. Eventually, it's going to get burned out. Just to say, sure. I've had enough of this. What's the payoff here?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely already feeling that to some degree.
I'd like to see, some actual developments next episode. Let's go back to some threads that we haven't seen in an episode or two. Like Gar, like you were saying, you expect maybe Gar next episode. Yeah. I feel like we need to come back to him
soon. At the very least, the next couple of episodes.
Yeah, like something needs to happen on that front. Now that the tournament's done, like Saitama, okay, like you did that. Are you going to get involved with this monster stuff? Like, is that going to be the focus? We've been kind of dancing around that. The whole tournament arc thing was keep Saitama away from the monsters so he can't just one-shot all of them and make it anticlimactic. Now that's over. He's going to find out what's going on, what's going to happen with that. Is that even that important? I just would like to see some of that payoff. Oof. I feel tired.
We did shoot Frame Trap before this, so it's been a day.
Ooh, this episode took a lot, but it was fun.
It was very fun. And thank you, Brad, man, for stepping in.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Glad it.
It's nice to check in, see what's going on with some anime I haven't watched in a long time.
Yeah.
Yes. So again, this week we are doing this tonight because I was out on Tuesday. Next Tuesday we will be back, barring any of us being out. It's going to be Ben and myself again, and Kyle's going to be joining us next Tuesday.
Kyle.
And Kyle says he will be caught up. He'll be caught up on the show, so he'll be ready to dive in and talk about this. Ooh.
He's gonna hate it.
I'm curious.
He's gonna hate it.
He'll be like, I hate it. Let's talk about Hunter x Hunter. And I'll be like, all right.
He's gonna find a way to redirect the conversation to Damiani. Let's talk about the Chimera Ant arc now. I've been waiting for this debate, and I'll be like, nah. Let's do something else for that. Again, thank you for everyone who did submit questions. A lot of them we just get to over the course of discussing each episode to recap, essentially. I'll make that post again probably next Monday. I'll do the call for questions. We'll turn back to a regularly scheduled time for next 2 weeks. And just as a reminder, E3 week, we will not be doing an episode the week of E3. That is coming up very soon. We will just get back together the week after and just cover everything, the previous episode and the newest episode. I'll keep making that announcement as we get there. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up. And I just kicked the microphone, I think. So sorry, headphone users, for that. Thank you, everyone who submitted questions. Thank you, everyone for watching. Thank you both for joining me.
Absolutely.
And until next time.
You